it was around 4.5%. So I contacted Herlin just to clarify everything. Since Sophia left, she hadn't done the update, so it was kind of in limbo between. So I sent Herlin today the revised plan, and it still keeps us, it was a very minor, a few hundred square foot difference with this lot line moving. The lot line previously on our plan started at this point, straight up to the lot line. So there's about a 10-foot swath of land there that, after the fact, with the surveyor, he was able to rectify. So what it did was it took some of the riverfront area off the property, but it didn't impact our numbers, because this area here, the majority, more than half of it is outside of the 200-foot riverfront. So there was only a little tiny square right here, rectangle, that was within the riverfront area. Again, it only equated to a few hundred square feet. So she has the updated, she has verified there's no new meetings needs to be done. She's just gonna swap that one plan and give it to us to record in the order. So we stay at that 4.5%. There's no change in the numbers that would put us out of compliance with the Wetland Protection Act. So it's all done administratively. It's not something that needs an approval or to go back to conservation with. And then I believe, Adam, you had asked about the impacts within the no disturb zone and what the mitigation was for it. So as part of the order of conditions, we have a planting plan for both the rain garden, which is quantified in our filing with the planning board. So our details for the rain garden include 15 total plantings between trees and shrubs. So that's all within the rain garden. The impact within the no-touch, because of our wetland fill that we have here, is a little over 3,000 square feet at a 2-to-1 ratio that we're replicating. And in total, there's 56 plantings that's being done within that replication area. So that was what was required by conservation. And that's what's on our plans that was approved by conservation and memorialized in the order of conditions. So those 56 plantings are a combination of high bush blueberry, elderberry, and gray dogwood trees. There's 14 trees and then 18 elderberry and 24 high bush blueberry that are all being planted within that replication area, which is back here on the kind of on the outskirts of our limited disturbance. So, and then I believe there was one more point, or a couple points of discussion in relation to the pipes that we're extending from the neighbor's property. I want to be crystal clear about where those pipes are. I believe Patrick said that Mr. Patton thought we were going to be 20, 30 feet on his property doing work. The survey originally didn't locate the inverts of where those pipes discharged. They are entirely on the property we're in. So they're on the applicant's property. They're not on Mr. Patton's property. So we do not have to touch Mr. Patton's property at all. So he has a foundation drain that goes right outside his, it looks like it's coming from right outside his garage that ends right here on our property. So we're proposing to pick that up. It's a 4-inch foundation drain. So we're going to connect to that with a watertight connection, ADS pipe, and continue that pipe across our driveway and discharge it at a flared end. So there's no change to this plan or the plan of conservation. We always showed that scope. So that pipe is going to be extended that 20, 30 feet to the other side of our driveway. The other discharge is a catch basin in the backside of his property that was installed, at some time in the past. It's a 5-inch HDPE pipe. That also terminates back here, which is actually underneath where our proposed driveway is going. So we're just proposing to pick up that same pipe at the same invert and have positive drainage, keep it the same slope, the extra 10, 20 feet to the other side of our driveway, and that's the second flared end that's shown. So this plan is exactly what was filed last. We are filed with this filing here in September. Originally last year, we didn't have, because we weren't surveying off property, so I didn't have the actual location of where we thought that pipe was. It was on our property, but the invert was buried. So Mr. Patton actually hired the same surveyor to go out and rectify the lot line, so in doing so, he was able to dig up and locate these 2 pipe discharges. So both of those pipes are gonna be just extended from where they are across our driveway and discharged to the same receiving water. We had proposed HDPE pipe. We did download and submitted to the OpenGov today the HDPE pipe spec for the ADS N12 pipe. It's a structurally sound pipe with a foot of cover. It withstands the HS20 loading and whatever the new AASHTO loading is. It's the maximum loading for tractor trailer trucks and highway loading on active vehicles on highways. So both of these pipes, the culverts up here that come on the westernmost side of the property, those have a foot of cover, and that's the minimum cover that ADS allows for the HS loading. So it's a full loading, tractor trailer truck traffic. This is a residential driveway, so it's not going to see anything anywhere near the tractor trailer truck loading. And then the other pipes are the same, but those have more than a foot of cover on them where they are. So cover-wise, I did provide the spec. It was uploaded today that shows that it exceeds, in strength, what's required under highways. So beyond that, I'm not sure if there's anything else that you have questions that I can try to answer.
Is the order recorded?
The order has not been recorded.
Has the order been submitted to the applicant?
The applicant, we have the order. So
Okay, because that was one of the things that I asked to be uploaded at the last meeting, because,
understood. We don't have the updated one. So
okay, so you have
the
the
history
one
of
with
this
incorrect
was
page
after
3.
it was approved, back in the beginning of the year, there was, Sophia was out for a long time. It took months of trying to get it back and forth to her. When she finally did, I think she was working remotely. We sent her the updated information, but it was never sent updated, and it was never recorded. So we kind of stopped because of the denial last year. We didn't move forward with everything. We wanted to get all our permits in hand before we started recording legal documents for the project. So Herlin today said she was going to revise basically the copy, insert that corrected page. She has the corrected drainage analysis now that I forwarded her. So she said she would put a note, and she was going to note on OpenGov, not sure if anything did, but she would let you know that no formal meetings had to be done for approval, kind of at this stage of the game. If there's anything happens and we have to come back and change stuff, then it's a modification to a plan. We'd have to come back to both you and Conservation for approval if we do have a modification for any reason. But, as it stands now, it's nothing changed in the scope of the order of conditions that would require us to go back to Conservation for approval.
And with the driveway sliding, are you still meeting the 5-foot setback?
We didn't move any.
I'm not the driveway, the lot line. Is the driveway still meeting 5 feet at the whole sideline?
I don't have my scale on me right now, but it looks like we're basically at that 5 foot. And if for any reason we had to slide that over a foot, we've got plenty of room in here to do it. And we initially our driveway was about 10 feet closer to Mr. Patton's property. And through working with him last year, we agreed to move it to the extent we had done. But, if we have to shift it another foot or two, we have more than enough.
And
Without changing any replication numbers, without changing any wetland impact numbers, it can easily be moved at that corner.
At the last meeting, it was represented that one of the pipes under the driveway was Schedule 80 PVC and the other 2 were HDPE. And so it was the Schedule 80 that I asked for information on.
All we stated here, was PVC. So extend existing 4-inch PVC foundation drain. So you can connect, they have couplings for the HDPE pipe.
Okay.
So,
And that was I felt HDPE was a better choice.
Yes, absolutely.
It was,
Yep.
It was indicated that I may not be correct in that, so I just
Alright.
wanted a clarification
So-
on what the intent is.
The intent here is to extend both of those pipes.
Okay.
And we are more than happy to use the HDPE pipe for that. And that can certainly be a condition.
Okay.
In the literature I did upload today, it's, that same N12 pipe is 4-inch through, I think 4-inch through 48-inch pipe is a minimum 1 foot of cover to withstand that HS loading. And then above that, 48-inch and above to 72 and whatever, you're required to have more, I think 2 feet of cover or something, but we're talking about 4-inch to 12-inch pipe. This is for this pipe here that comes from the backyard. The inverts were shot, top of pipe to invert, it's a 5-inch pipe, so it's a little odd, so it might still be a 4-inch, which is the thickness of the wall, so likely these are both 4-inch pipes, and then we're proposing new 12-inch pipes at the upper crossing.
All right, well, it looks like the board is thinking for a minute. I'm also going to, excuse me, this is a public hearing, so do we have any comments or questions from the public? If you are online and wish to comment, go ahead and use the hand raise feature. I see nothing in the room. If that comes up, just let me know. All right, other questions, thoughts from the board? Okay. Seeing none, Adam, I'll turn to you on this. You had the most and the outstanding questions, so do you feel that you've received answers that are satisfactory? Is there more that you're looking for, or that you feel the board should be asking here?
I think the majority of my questions were answered. I really would have preferred to have seen the order. Just for informational, I think it makes a complete record if there's an existing approval that we're approving the same plans of, that we have that information to make it, make sure we're not conflicting or contradicting what they're putting forward. But we're where we are.
Okay. All right. Continues to be nothing from the from the public, not surprising. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
No, I think, I just want to, I'll reiterate again, this is the same plan that was approved by Conservation. The only difference was we didn't have the actual location of these 2 pipes that were extending onto the driveway. But the same scope was included on the plan.
And with apologies to the board that I got to it today, but I did upload all of the peer review and back and forth from the previous project as well, and that's also on OpenGov. All right. If we have no other questions, do we want to close the public hearing and deliberate? I'm fine for us to chat before then, if we think something else may come up. But, okay.
No, I'll make a motion, we close the hearing.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So, now, Tim, you're welcome to deliberate on this.
Yep.
You were not here for the last meeting.
Right.
I don't know if you've reviewed it, and I didn't think to bring a Mullen form.
I had not before.
Okay. So you're welcome, you are still welcome to deliberate, but in the end, you will not be able to cast a vote on this one. So
Yep.
just, perfect. One second, I apologize. Excuse me. Okay. Thoughts, not questions, but thoughts from the board? I mean, our the previous peer review was comfy with this plan as is, and nothing from that I could see is changed from what's been discussed here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great lot. It's kind of in the swamp, kind of difficult to work with. They've met the standards per Graves. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not gonna, I don't, again, not a lot I would wanna buy, but if someone wants to develop it and buy it and they've met the standards, I'm okay with that. I think that we need to list the inspections we intend to be done as part of the stormwater permit. I would put forward that we do a pre-cut site walk to understand what the limit of work is and what material is being removed. If I'm not mistaken, the site's fairly wooded currently, so before any erosion control goes in, there's probably gonna need to be some cutting, or else they're gonna put the erosion control in twice, which seems foolish. So I would say a pre-cut site walk, an erosion control and sedimentation site walk when it's installed and secure, a stormwater facilities inspection when they do the bottom. They're putting in, if I'm not mistaken, a rain garden and an infiltration. So the bottom of both of those would need to be inspected to make sure they're appropriate. And then we would need them to submit, it wouldn't necessarily be an inspection, but a submission of all material spec sheets for the material that goes into the rain garden. There's a specialized mix. It's intended to support the plants and drain the water, and then obviously there'd be a final inspection. And this would all be done, in my opinion, by Graves as part of the contract we have with them to do peer review.
All right. Is this, so I trust your judgment here. This is me trying to understand. Is how much does this differ from our usual?
It's been so long, I don't recall what the standard is.
Fair.
I don't know that the standard calls out inspections.
Like, I know they happen, but I don't know the details on that either.
Correct,
so
that's,
okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense, and
and really, we should be doing most of these inspections on most stormwater permits. So if they're not in the standard, maybe we should consider revising the standard.
full agreement from me on that as we figure it out. Other thoughts from the board? Adam, do you have those written down as a convenient motion? Because I was taking notes as you went, and I am not a very fast typist.
I can put it into a motion. So I move that we approve the stormwater permit for PBSP 25-7, 255 Sunny Hill Road, including all standard stormwater conditions, and the additional condition that inspections be conducted at the pre-tree removal, the erosion and sedimentation control installation phase, the bottom inspections for all stormwater facilities, including cut sheets of media to be submitted for the rain garden, and a final inspection.
PBSW 25-4.
25-4, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I amend my motion.
Okay.
I will second.
Moved and seconded. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
you all set? Thank you very much. Rock and roll, everybody. One public hearing down, one to go. Calling up my agenda. Next, we have a public hearing for 560 Mulpus Road. This is a special permit, OpenGov reference PBSP 25-7 for ground mount solar.
Is there an ad for this one?
There
Because it's not in OpenGov.
is not an OpenGov.
Usually it's in the attachments.
I look.
Let's take I don't know if it's wound up in the, let's,
Look at that.
give us one sec. We have to open the public hearing with specific, no, you can stay there. It doesn't matter. Just, we have to open the public hearing with specific language that we're now looking up.
Yeah, first time doing this, so.
You can get it if you go to the workflow.
Where's the workflow?
Oh, you're not logged in, you're,
Yeah, I'm logged in.
huh. Do I have a different account?
You probably do.
Why?
What, which one are we're looking at PBS?
Do you want me to read it since I have it?
You can, or you can give me your laptop and I'll read it, whichever you prefer.
Actually, this isn't it either, this is,
Part of me thinks I should just bring my copy of the ledger with me. That would make it
just
easy
thinking
too,
that I should
right?
have
Like, just
Brought the ledger.
keep the past couple issues in my backpack. No, Adam, you do have the file handy?
no, I thought this was it, but it isn't.
Now, let me, okay. I can go into, so I assume we do definitely need that exact wording?
We should read the public hearing. That's
Okay.
the easiest way to do it. Do you have access?
I have more access than the rest of the board, because I have, yeah, because I have more tools here. Let me just search for, the problem is I don't know how this got posted. Well, let's try. The address is I can never remember, 560
Mulpus.
Mulpus. All right, I may have it here. This folder is empty, that's less helpful. Let me look here, I think I have it. Booyah,
Booyah.
all right. If you want to come here and steal my microphone.
Sure can. I don't know what that was.
And you can.
That was me.
We can zoom in or anything if you want.
This is fine. The Lunenburg Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Monday, November 10th, 2025, at 6:05 PM, Town Hall, 17 Main Street, Lunenburg, Mass., to hear and review an application for special permit pursuant to 250-4.13 of the Code of the Town of Lunenburg by Team Sunshine Construction LLC. Subject property information, the location is 560 Mulpus Road in Lunenburg, Mass. Assessor's map, parcel number 162-65. Owner is Claire Ryan, 560 Mulpus Road, Lunenburg, Mass. 01462. Materials are viewable at the planning office at 960 Mass Avenue in Lunenburg.
Great, thank you. I'm going to add, as we begin, to my notes, to bring up with Brian, that we should find a way for that legal ad to get added to OpenGov as part of standard practice. Perfect. Now, please take it away.
All right, well, we're just looking to install a solar ground-mounted array for this homeowner. We've already gone through, is it RDA and the conservation hearings. These plans that you have in front of you have already been approved by both of those boards, and this is the last hurdle. So we're just curious on what questions we need to answer to make sure we can get this going before we run into the new year and lose the federal incentives behind this.
Great. Could you also, just for the record, identify yourself?
Oh, yeah.
and
So
who you work for?
Evan St. Thomas DiTilio, manage the pipeline over at Team Sunshine. So
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, if you could give us now, we have the plans on file, and I can also, and if there's anything we want to call out in particular, I can always share it on Zoom as well, to the rest of the board.
yeah, they
Can you
had
just
to
gi-
send some
give
large
us a-
Mylar plans in, but I don't know where those ended up.
Oh,
Maybe. Yep, this is it.
Yeah.
no, I don't, we have the big plans. I don't know that we have an easy way of mounting them because we don't have a foam board backer.
Let me see if there's magnets over here.
Sorry to be causing trouble.
How do they work?
Stress. Actually, that easel might even, I don't know if it has a way to slip a plan in or not either.
I believe there's 18 copies, so if you're okay with sacrificing one, we could just punch it through those
That's
holes
true.
there.
Yeah. Just that way, people at home can see the plan too as you talk.
Yeah,
And I can
absolutely.
also share it, like I said, I can share it on Zoom, but
You can pick out. Oops. Oh, boy. That big one. I have magnets. I have a bunch of magnets. Hold on. Yeah.
I can share it on Zoom. We don't need to,
Perfect.
let me. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm just gonna,
Does anybody want a paper copy to go through? No.
I'm good.
I am good, and I will be, I can do this. Great. And so you can just walk us through the project at a high level, so we have that understanding.
Sure.
Would be
All right.
great, and anywhere you want me to go on the, I don't know if it's showing.
Yeah, if you want to go to the second page of the CAD plans, that's going to give us a
Yep.
pretty good idea about distances from plot lines and the location, compared to other structures on the property, whatever might be a concern as far as that nature, and also the location of the septic system, showing that we're much out of the way of that. No need to worry about that. And how we have the proper clearances. So, all right, perfect. So if you want to just zoom in on that bottom right picture where we have like that circled area, you'll see that the ground mount is going to be placed roughly 142 feet north of the home on this property. And where you're going to find the setbacks we're 112 feet roughly from the eastern property line, and then 50 56 feet, or was that 58? 58 feet from the northern property line and just about 290 feet from the western property line. So we're keeping this location well within the property itself. And then as far as the trenching goes, this particular house, the utility meter is actually not on the structure itself. And if you look into this squared area, to the left of that circled area, we kind of have a little bit more of a zoom in, and we show the location of where the utility meter is. So for this array, all the equipment is going to be mounted on the array, and in the trench, we're just going to go around behind the barn, and then just link up the solar directly to the utility meter on the load side. So that way, we are able to power the house, and any excess would be sent to the grid for that net metering purposes. So the trenching, we're going to follow code, keep it at a minimum of 18 feet deep, and use the Schedule 40 PVC.
Okay, great. I'm going to go for initial questions for the board, then I'll ask public comment. I'm not anticipating public comment, but we'll see, or at least not much, because there's not a lot of humans between here and Zoom. And yeah, initial questions from the board.
Do we have a copy of the special permit that was issued by the zoning board?
I'm not sure where those copies are issued. I just know that we had gone through those two previous meetings, and I believe the zoning board was the first meeting we had to go through, and then the conservation was the one where we were allowed to do virtual. And we had to get through those hurdles in order to move on to the next. So I believe they're on file somewhere, but I don't have a copy on hand now.
And this is going to be connected to the grid via interconnection?
Yep,
Do we have a
interconnection.
copy of the interconnection agreements with Unitil?
So the interconnection approvals, I do have files of those, so I could get those sent over to you guys.
We will need them as part of the filing requirements.
Okay, that's not a problem. We already have the approval. And as you see, if you want to go back to the first page on interconnection approvals, they reflect the AC system size, not the DC system size, and the AC system size is reflected by the size of the inverter on the system. So that would be, instead of the 18.92 kilowatt DC you see, it would be the 13.8 kilowatt AC, and that's what you'll see the interconnection approval for.
And what's the intended reclamation between the racks?
I'm sorry?
Look, I'm assuming how are you attaching the racks, first of all, I guess, is the first question.
So we are going to do footings.
So you're going to pour footings?
Yes, so let me, I'm sorry, ground screws.
So the
Ground
helix anchors?
Yeah, they're, I want to say, if you go to, the pages aren't numbered here. We have, it looks like the anchors are post and concrete or ballast ground mount. Nope. That's not the one I'm looking for. There we go. Our third design is the ground screw, where it shows the insertion type. So if you go to page, I want to say 6 of 8.
6, I think.
Yeah. You'll see that information where we show the ground screws and the details of the array itself.
Adam, the ZBA decision is in the red folder.
Oh.
I can hand
I
a
got
copy.
it.
What do you have? Okay.
Brian loves his red folders, huh?
They have a grid inside and everything, that.
They didn't make any conditions, okay. Thank you. So will there be disturbance between the racks? Or are you just screwing into the ground,
Just
leaving
screwing.
the existing condition to exist?
Correct, yeah. So the only disturbance is where the ground screws are going and then the trench line
Yeah.
to wire it.
So it's currently grass there?
Yeah, it's a field there currently.
And they're able to mow in between the racks without an issue?
Yep, and then if you guys are requiring fencing, which some towns that we deal with do require fencing around the array, that is something that we'll put together as a, requirement. But we've asked and we, haven't gotten a hard answer, like, well, it's just a lot of unsure, so.
So the quick backstory for you is, the board has been wanting to work on our solar bylaw for a couple of years because,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a 11-ish-year-old bylaw and was written for the technology of 11 years ago, which is why whatever it is, the 10 kilowatt, or whatever the,
Yeah, it seems that like the hurdles that we've had to clear here to get to this point have been for like a more commercially sized project, which we understand. A lot of towns are used to dealing with that, especially from like 10 years ago, where it seemed like, because I'm from Ashburnham, and like we know how everything went through Winchendon and Gardner and all those areas, and even just over in Leominster. So we know how they kind of went crazy with those and a lot of bylaws went into place. So we totally understand. We're just trying to make sure that this person can, save money on their bills. It's a significantly large system, but they got some large bills and we're just trying to help them out.
nope, makes sense. But that is something the board is looking to address in ideally, we were addressing it over a year ago, but
Is that right?
when we're able.
Life happens.
All right. Looks like board is reading for a minute, so I'll take that moment to ask for public comment. There is no one in Zoom. Do we have public comment here? Nope. All right. I have done my duty and asked for the public comment that is not here, but
Very good.
it is now officially a public hearing. Further questions or comments from the board? Is there anything else we feel we need from the applicant, or does this feel complete at this time for us? Oh, I do want to, looking at OpenGov, and I see that you, Board of Health was waiting on the plans having the septic setback and everything.
The septic setback, yes.
And I
yeah.
see on November 5th, the communication was it's been uploaded.
Yes.
And the Board of Health hasn't verified that yet. So we're still waiting on that checkbox from Board of Health, I believe, but
All right.
I think we can condition that.
yeah, that was.
Based on the location of the septic system, it's not even proximal to the work being done.
No, I don't think that will be an issue at all. I was going through and seeing what is still blue and in progress. All right. If we have no questions for the applicant, we could close the public hearing if we feel we have everything we need.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Now we're going to do a little deliberation, but you can sit down and relax.
All right, perfect.
Okay, great.
Do you want me to leave these plans here, or?
You can just leave them there. We'll pick up. That's fine. Thank you. Okay, I don't remember this one. I know we just did it, but I've only done one of them, and it was a few weeks ago.
Remember what?
The special permit
Oh.
solar. Do we approve do we have, I don't think we have standard conditions.
We probably have standard special permit conditions.
Okay.
I mean, this is kind of I don't want to call it a nothing burger, but it's a little bit different than some of our other special permits.
Oh, very much so. Do we want to,
I think we should condition they comply with the requirements of all other boards and commissions, as we normally do. That if there are any changes required per the Board of Health based on the septic system, that the applicant return to this board for modification, and then that the interconnection information be uploaded before the issuance of a building permit.
all right. And you're thinking, and it sounds like we're thinking just those three, not, or do we doing this quote, the special permit, standard conditions? I don't,
We can put them on there, and
yeah.
I would be willing to give you discretion to take off anything that didn't seem to be applicable.
I'm fine with that. That'll be a quick look. And I can work with Richard Harris on that
Sure.
as well, because,
The last question would be fencing, whether we want to require fencing around the array or not.
we don't require it by the bylaw, do we?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it does. I think that the last one we approved had fencing, but I don't think that we imposed that. I think they came in with it.
That sounds correct. And
I also think they had animals,
yes.
and that may have had something to do with it.
No, I mean, if we're not requiring it, I don't, owner beware?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, super. Great. So,
So I make a motion that we approve PBSP 25-7 at 560 Mulpus Road with the standard special permit conditions to be modified to remove any not applicable to the solar development, and to add the conditions that should the Board of Health require modification that substantially alters the location, size, or orientation of the solar panels, that the applicant return to the planning board for modification, and that the interconnection approval between the owner of 560 Mulpus Road and Unitil be uploaded before the issuance of a building permit.
I will second.
moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Bang-a-rang. All set. Richard Harris, our interim land use director, will get working on the decision, and you're good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, great. I find it hilarious, Adam, that I pride myself on thinking through motions, except when you're here, I immediately become an idiot. Yes, become an idiot, not live the life. I will go for that. Okay. Next up, well, we're done with public hearings. We're on to board discussions with the Open Space Committee. Mike, come on up and join us. If you'd rather sit, we have a remote microphone as well if you want.
Thanks. Still training my new hip.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations on the new hip. I'm in line for a new knee, so.
It's behaving, so. I'm Mike Toohill. I'm the chair of the Lunenburg Open Space Committee. And as you know, we are an ad hoc committee of the planning board. And I want to talk to you about a couple things tonight. First is, we're proposing to change our membership on the committee and add someone from the Agricultural Commission. It is a significant open space, and We have parks, we have conservation, we have planning. So we have representation from all the relevant boards, except for agriculture. And so what we are proposing is to eliminate one of the community member positions to keep us as a 7-member commission, and then add agriculture. Right now, we have an open seat. So it's no heartache to remove the one open seat and add the agricultural commission. I wanted to talk to the planning board first, since we technically report to you as an ad hoc committee, before broaching this with the agricultural commission.
I mean, to me, sure, that makes, given that agriculture is one of the identified uses for open space, yeah, I mean, to me, that makes sense.
Yep, and it's come up a number of times when we're talking about right of first refusal.
And, yeah,
So it'd be nice to have that representation on the board rather than communication between the two chairs and then going back to each board to talk about what we talked about.
other thoughts from the board?
I think
No.
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Great.
so we'll affect that change.
Well, I guess
what-
one
so-
question is it a member of the agricultural commission, or is it someone appointed by the agricultural commission? And I know it sounds like a dumb distinction.
Well, that can be up to them, I guess.
Well,
Typically, it's
no,
a
it
member.
can't be. Because if the planning boards, and I know that's probably the next discussion, but whomever is the seating authority for the open space committee to exist.
That's you.
Oh, I know it's us now. We would need to write the compromise, complement of the membership in a way that reads who it is.
Right.
So I'm not, there are some times where a committee, I would want a member of that committee to be the representative, because the committee that they're going to, capital planning is probably one that comes to mind. You want a member of the finance committee or a member of the planning board, because they're an elected or appointed representative that is in the throes of the work that that committee does. Something like this, I think a representative appointed by the Agricultural Commission has the potential to have the same sort of insight, but I don't know what the Open Space Committee wants from it. Do you want someone who's steeped in the month-to-month work of the Agricultural Commission, or do you just want somebody who has an agricultural mind and looks at things from that perspective?
I think we want the former.
Okay.
I think we want someone.
So a
from the
member
commission.
of the actual.
And just for the purpose of parallel construction, that's the way we have it with recreation, that's the way we have it with planning, that's the way we have it with conservation.
And that's absolutely fine, that's why I asked.
Yeah, and every month we have on an agenda item is reports from these other committees, so that it helps inform both
Yep.
sides.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point.
Makes total sense. So that would be, I mean, so that is so to change that, we would have to vote to change that.
Correct.
And then we can tell the town clerk, and hooray. Well, might as well, your next topic,
Let's talk about the second one.
yeah, except that, I don't know, you could, well, we can have this vote in a bit if we need to. What I don't know is if your next topic impacts it in terms, or if you still need us to have that vote just to get that ball rolling, because I don't know if the planning board were to go with be free, be your own thing, I don't know what the timeline of that looks like, but I bet you do.
So my thought on this is, and the subject is, we're an ad hoc committee of the planning board right now, so we were created for a purpose, and the original purpose was to put together the open space and recreation plan. And so now we've gone beyond that, and we have other purposes. And so we've been having a discussion among our members as to whether or not it doesn't make sense for us to be, I'm going to use air quotes, independent. And I've looked at how other towns deal with this, and I think I really like, and I'll talk to my board about this, I really like the way Medway deals with this. In Medway, the Open Space Committee is a separate standalone committee, same way that Planning, Conservation, and the other boards are. And in Medway, the Open Space Committee members are still appointed by the Planning Board. Someone has to appoint the members, because I'm not proposing that we become an elected board. We want to remain an appointed board the way that Conservation is, for example. And so I would like to keep the Planning Board as the appointing authority for the members of the Open Space Committee, but have the Open Space Committee be eligible for having its own mission statement and having its own bylaws. And we bring this up now because, as you know, the town is in the process of updating bylaws. Right now, there's nothing in the bylaws about Open Space Committee. And so I propose drafting a very simple, based on the Medway example, bylaw to bring to the bylaw committee. And that bylaw would say, basically, we're a 7-member board, we have this constituency, and members are appointed by the planning board. And the primary purpose of our board is the open space recreation plan, but we also weigh in on things like right of first refusal and inform and make recommendations to the select board and to the planning board.
All right. Thoughts from the board?
Spread your wings and fly, little bird.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think it's probably about 15 years past when that should have happened. I don't see any reason why we would oppose that. My only thought is, and I'm not opposed to the planning board remaining the appointing authority, I would have a discussion with the select board.
Yes.
As they tend to appoint most other committees in town. But this is an elected board, so I don't think that it would be out of place here.
Yeah, point taken.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Other thoughts from the board?
Nothing to add to that.
No, and pretty much, I mean, same boat here.
Okay.
It makes sense. You operate pretty close to entirely independently of us anyway. So, yeah, that makes sense. So,
I had an additional thought.
Go ahead.
You currently have 2 at-large members and 5 members from other committees?
3 and 4.
Oh, 3 and 4, okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess and I think it's done this way already, but my thought would be when you write the bylaw, the committees appoint their own member.
Yes, they do.
And then the planning board would appoint, obviously, its member, and then the at-large, or the select board, the at-large, whoever.
The way I envision it is the other boards, committees will nominate the representative to go onto the open space committee, and then whoever the approving authority is, if it's this board or if it's the select board, actually appoints that person.
And I think that can work. I think that's completely reasonable. I would hate to see a situation where a committee appoints somebody and for whatever reason, the appointing committee doesn't.
Agree with it?
Yeah, or there's some personality conflict or perspective difference, and the appointing committee chooses to not endorse them.
I have personal experience in that.
And I think if a committee is intended to be represented, they should get to choose their representative unfettered, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm about 90% in agreement. I can envision a world, and I don't know that I don't think that's a scenario here, where I can envision a world where the open space could say, no, we want planning to have that, like, that kind of extra guardianship role,
Sure.
but then you're just at the mercy of future iterations of the planning board. And while I think our current iteration is fairly hot stuff, who knows what the future holds? Maybe all of us can defect to the select board at once. Go join Glenn.
Chaos.
No, great. I mean, you have thoughts from us, and so the process now would be that you would go to the bylaw committee and handle all that over there, and it would eventually get on probably the spring town meeting warrant?
Yes,
Is that the
correct.
idea?
Yeah.
So it sounds like, A, you don't need any formal input from us other than, good job, go for it, and we can have a vote to that end, so it's an official good job, go for it. And B, it sounds like you would like us to approve the membership change tonight anyway.
That would be
That
great.
way, okay, great.
Yeah.
In that case, I would look for a motion such as to change the membership of the Open Space Committee from, wait, let me pause on that. Do you know that Conservation wants, that AgCom wants a slot?
No, I wanted to talk to our,
Got it. So, Mike, talk to them.
They don't get a chance, they don't get a vote.
I mean, I'm fine with that, too. I'm fine just saying, guess what, you have a member now. Would you like us just to make it official, or do you want to talk to them first so you can drop me an email and we can have a vote?
yeah, I can talk to them first.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to talk to the town manager and maybe town council too about all
Sure,
the.
great.
ramifications.
Once you're squared away, drop me an email.
Sure.
And then we can have a vote here. I would also look for a motion such as, I don't know what the correct wording is, but for the planning board to endorse the Open Space Committee's plan for independence, or desire for. You don't like that motion, I can see it already, so make a
Well,
better one.
I guess I'm wondering if it would be better, I think we've given Mike our input, and it would be more impactful if, when he writes his draft
Then, okay.
bylaw, that
Yeah.
we vote to support that language to the bylaw review committee.
I have no I didn't know if we needed to take action, to do a formal act now to indicate to the bylaw committee, but if that's not needed, then I don't see a need for it.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly could. I guess I'd defer to him.
Yeah.
If you
want us
have
to
a
have-
draft bylaw that you're gonna put together, if you wanna send it to us, I'd be happy to review it and potentially support that.
Sure.
Instead of just the sort of nebulous idea of a free committee.
Okay, sure.
Great,
Yeah, and then that gives me a chance to run it up the flagpole.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
yep,
And that way, if there's something the council sees or
Right.
wants from us, we can take care of that as well.
Okay,
perfect, great. Mike, thank you so much.
that's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate
you.
your time.
Is there anything else you want from us? Well, you got us, right
No,
here.
just keep coming to the meetings.
Yeah, absolutely.
How's that?
Great,
Thank
thank you, take care. All right. I have a printed copy, I'll just use that. That is our scheduled board discussion. Just looking back a little on decisions, I don't have any decisions for us to review at this time. But
Did the A&Rs make it over here that needed to be signed, or did you get 3 signatures on it?
yeah, everything is fine. It turns out because it was the second page Mylar, after, there was a miscommunication on the back end, on the applicant side, they did not need signatures on the second
Was
page.
it just the topo page?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah. So there were 2 Mylar sheets, they only needed the first one signed. So then, in the end, they managed to get that taken care of. Like, it's all set. And yeah, otherwise, everything's good. I will follow up with Richard because because there should be a decision for the last solar we did, right?
I thought that got taken care of already.
Oh, maybe.
I thought that was one of Jen's last.
Oh, yeah, I think it was. Okay, I will follow up. I think we're all
that was
set on
Goodrich
those.
Street, wasn't it?
What's that?
That was on Goodrich Street?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was one of the first things I voted on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, then I think we're fine. Okay. And just looking ahead, minutes, I don't have anything for us tonight because we've gone a little bit without admin staff, period, in that building. But building department has a new administrative assistant who seems rock star. Just a real, people who take it upon themselves to learn and improve from day one are a delightful yet rare find. And hopefully soon, if all goes according to plan, we will have an admin assistant as well to get us caught up on our meetings. Boy, howdy. Okay. There's nothing major that's come through on abutting community notices. One more came in from like Fitchburg today I haven't looked at, so maybe I'm wrong, and I'll tell you about it next meeting. All right, committee reports. Master Plan Steering Committee.
I was unable to attend the last event. There will be a meeting happening this Wednesday that I will be at.
Okay. They have put together a presentation for a special town meeting upcoming. And yeah, everything looks, kind of moving steadily there. Open Space Committee.
The last discussion was about what we just discussed, so.
Rock and roll. Municipal Building Design Committee. Discussion continues there. We had tours of Ritter and Town Hall last week before. Did I talk about it at our last meeting because it had already happened or no?
I think you were talking about the possibility of it happening.
Oh, okay.
It happened yet.
Cool. Great. The number of nights I drag my boys to these buildings is large enough that it blurs fast. On the plus side, they know how to navigate both buildings real well now. But, no, we had a tour. What I will tell you is I got a fantastic photo from up in the attic of Town Hall here.
Post bird poop cleaning?
There was no bird poop, so yes. But, so what you may not realize is this building is held together, in large part, the timber framing is without nails. It's old school. Adam would know. But no, we're talking big, massive timbers.
Duct tape.
Bubble gum.
Well, while we went through, it was interesting because among the things that the previous engineers had talked about after reviewing the building is Town Hall is rock solid. Like, yes, it is old, but the framing itself in very good condition.
You wouldn't know that on a windy day when the building moves.
Well, it's a big wooden building.
True.
Wooden building sway. But I did have a great photo of all this really old post and beam construction and then in the background, you've got the computational guts of the 5G tower on the roof and the battery. So it's that real funny juxtaposition. But no, the committee is looking at things. I'm unplugging my secondary monitor because I run cords under my feet. I shouldn't do that.
This whole table's cords under feet.
Big time. The committee continues to run with the idea of can we move all of town functions into Ritter in some capacity after modification of the building, and thus leaving the idea of maybe the second floor of this building where we are now becomes Pack Studio. And then the first floor would by and large be converted to meeting rooms. I could go into depth if anyone was interested about some of the discussions happening and about bullpen versus not. And what I'm seeing is there needs to be, as much as there is a lot of talk between the employees specifically the town manager and that committee, we will need to see more going forward. Because just to make sure everyone's needs can be met with future plans. I am less convinced than my peers in that committee that that Ritter being a government building is the right choice. I want to say preserving Ritter. I'm not suggesting Ritter be demolished, but I'm less convinced than some of my peers that using Ritter as a primary government building is the right move. But there's a lot of people seem to feel, and they feel the town feels otherwise. So we'll see.
Is there a concern about the interpretation and application of the APD by the current APDC hindering this proposed project?
The APDC is represented on the committee, so that has not been a topic of conversation yet. We will see how that shakes out and everything going forward. But yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts from the committee, and I don't want to take up all of our time dissecting.
No, and that was more of a,
Yeah, but no, but it's just, even on my own thoughts in terms of how this will progress, if any of y'all want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk one-on-one, and if multiple of y'all want to talk about it, then we can talk about it at a meeting, because that's how we have to do it then. But, I mean, there is progress being made steadily. I am less convinced than some of the rate of progress, but I've been wrong once or twice in my life, so maybe this will be the third. Yes, I am wrong all the time, I'm aware. Whenever I say something like that, I feel the need to then chime in and be like, yes, I'm being sarcastic. Okay, Capital Planning Committee is moving forward, a little behind schedule. I missed our last meeting last Wednesday because I was ill. I still have to catch up on that. We were supposed to meet this Wednesday and review more departments, but tomorrow being the holiday messed up when agendas have to be scheduled posted as per typical, or as opposed to the typical. So we are not meeting tomorrow, and we'll figure out the new meeting dates. But it's moving forward, a little more last minute than usual, but town manager is part of it and aware, and so if we pivot a little into needing to do a little work in the new year, we do a little work in the new year. That was always that was a date of convenience, not a date of true absolute necessity. Economic Development Committee has not met since our last meeting, will not be meeting in November, because the time it would normally meet is special town meeting. Stormwater Task Force.
We are currently working on getting a new contractor designer for the whole thing. We weren't happy with what we were getting before, so we are currently just waiting until after special town meeting to determine if we have a budget to hire somebody new, and then figuring it out from there.
Fair.
No meeting November. We'll be meeting second week of December, I think, maybe first week.
and will this new contractor take over both the management of the NIPD's permit as well as the potential for the enterprise fund?
I'm not sure. I know, yes, for the enterprise fund. I'm not sure what their role is on the other portion.
Okay.
All right. Montechusett Regional Planning Commission. I know you could not attend the last meeting. I could not.
That's okay.
So,
Yeah, I couldn't either.
yeah.
All right, we got one more, don't worry. One more for the year.
That was the night after I was sick. It was really fun, let me tell you. And Montechusett Joint Transportation Committee.
We have not met since our last meeting, and we're not meeting in November. We'll meet in December.
Okay, great. Meeting schedule, upcoming meetings include November 24th. Is that the same week as Thanksgiving? Okay, great. Dear applicants, please don't have a lot of business for us then. I'm going to be cooking nonstop, but, and our next meeting after that, as we discussed, is December 15th. I have booked this room for that date. So everything on the back end is handled. Brian and Richard are aware, and so anything that needs to be scheduled for our meetings is going to be scheduled to then, not the 8th. And we should be good.
Do we have any current hearings scheduled for the 24th?
I do not know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I mean, if there's truly nothing going on, and then,
I guess that was my sort of,
yeah.
you know, if we don't have new hearings filed, then there's no new hearings coming because we're already too close to advertise. Because it wouldn't have needed to run today as the 14th day. And I'm not opposed to meeting if there are items that need to be taken care of, but
I'm not aware of any.
my perspective would be if there isn't anything pressing, it can probably wait till December.
I am in agreement, and I'm getting nods from the board. So if there is nothing that comes up, I will let us know, and we will cancel that meeting because claw back what we can of our lives. Amen. I was really excited capital planning got canceled on Wednesday because that meant there's one night I get to see my wife this week until I realized it's also master plan steering committee.
Well, you can have a date.
I could. Hey, hon.
Romantic.
Yep. You want to go sit in a meeting room?
What's unromantic about planning?
Doing your civic duty.
I think planning is a delightful late night discussion.
Absolutely.
My wife thinks I should shut up and let her sleep, and Lindsay is correct. Bless her, she puts up with a lot. Okay, in that case, I believe that's all she wrote, friends.
Board comment.
Oh, you're right. Board comment.
So I actually have a couple of things. I attended the Southern New England American Planning Association Conference Thursday and Friday of last week. The Massachusetts chapter of APA has voted to give free membership for the chapter only to members of planning and zoning boards. I believe you'd be required to pay the national dues, but if it's something that you're interested in, it might be worthwhile. I'm reminded that CPTC classes are starting again soon.
Thank you.
So if you are interested for the 45 or 50 bucks and the 3 hours of your time, a lot of times on Zoom, they're well worth it if there's something that interests you.
And the town has money to pay for us to be trained.
And the CPTC conference, usually in the first or second week in March, it's a Saturday, so you give that up, but it's an excellent way to pack a bunch of learning in and meet people from all over the state who are doing the same thing that we're doing, and you get a lot of different perspective. Additionally, I know that we've talked a lot about housing in this room, and in light of MBTA communities, what that might mean to our town going forward. CHAPA has a municipal engagement initiative, and what it is they bring their housing planners and others to town, and they work to sort of set up a network of grassroots housing advocates to start and support and talk about housing issues and sort of drive the process from the bottom up. It's an application process. You kind of need a group. Do I think it's something that we would be ready to apply for this year? Probably not. But I think it's something that as we start to look at other housing options, mixed-use options, it's something we should seriously consider. Because I think there's a lot of people in this community who have housing on the front of mind, and they either don't know how to be engaged or are afraid to be the one who starts the engagement. And this might be a way to take some of that energy and move it forward. And a final sort of thought is I attended a couple of panels on housing and rezoning, and one specifically on the missing middle, which is what the whole MBTA community is about, but it's kind of a larger issue. And what I kind of walked away with and was most struck by was the impact of mixed-use requirements on the financing of affordable housing and how detrimental it can be to getting a private developer who may be interested in doing affordable units the ability to fill their financing gap. So as we start to look at some of these bylaws, we really should consider what mixed use means within the development and how we apply that. And if there's a way that we can approve mixed use developments but have a separation between the residential and the commercial portions so that financing them and building them can be done almost independently, even if the development itself interplays the two.
I have like roughly 5,000 questions based on those handful of sentences right there at the end.
I'm sure you do.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I want to wrap my mind around this. Yeah, I don't have, I'm not
Take
going to
your
eat up
time,
all
Rap.
I'm not going to eat all the board's time right now diving deep, but that is of interest to me. I hadn't even processed that mixed use would make financing more difficult. And
The simple answer is when you finance a building at, we'll say, we're just gonna use $100 because it's easy. 60% of it is probably gonna be a loan, and 40% of it is equity of some sort. The developer who stands here and proposes the plan usually is giving about 8% of that equity, and the remainder is a limited equity partner. And that limited equity partner is generally in one sphere or another, whether it's commercial, affordable housing, market rate housing, or something like that. And they can't wrap their head around what it means for vacancy rates, possible turnover, cost of investment, and leases for a commercial space if they're a residential developer or a residential investor. And so, like, the residential market is a known quantity to them, and they know it fills at this rate, here's the vacancy, here's what the growth is, here's what the rents are. And so they're generally unwilling to touch mixed use because they don't know how quickly, consistently, and at what rate the commercial will get filled. It's kind of the really simple answer.
wow, I'm going to move,
We can talk about.
I am so fascinated on so many angles right now. Neat. Again, this is also why my wife tells me to be quiet and go to bed, because these are discussions I want to have with her. All right. Other board comment? Hearing none, thank y'all as always, coming from me, and I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I'm going to give Ms. Reed the credit for the second on that one.
I think she should get it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Friends, it is 7:28 PM. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night out there in Lunenburg, and we'll see you most likely well, I'll see you at a special town meeting. You're going to be there, right? Take care, everybody.